No matter how close your family is, talking about certain issues is not easy, uncomfortable for the parents, awkward for the children.
News 4's Lauren St. Germain is here to make the hardest topics just a little bit easier. Lauren?
Keeping an open relationship and encouraging your kids to ask anything is more important than you might think. Based on Facebook responses and general surveys, there are two big areas that make parents stumble over their words, and what's worse, the kids just don't want to talk about it.
What do you think are the hardest topics to talk to your kids about?
Sex.
When two people really love each other, well, see, there's this stork. So, the birds and the bees. Those are all some options David DePriest considered when he had to have the talk with his grandson.
He is getting into puberty, and he's starting to notice things, and the wanting to play games and run and play in the yard and climb trees is being replaced slowly.
Parents don't know exactly how to explain sex, but they know kids talk.
They hear other kids saying, oh, we did this, we did that, and they have one person telling them one thing, and we trying to teach them, and tell them a different thing.
When you're young, you don't think your parents know anything. Why? You just think, oh, they forgot stuff. Okay, let's just go ask our friends.
So as parents, what are you supposed to do?
Get educated yourself, and then sit there and approach your child, so when your child does talk to you, that you know what they're talking about without them telling you you're stupid or you don't understand.
Before talking to your kids, do your homework. Research online, then have your kids sit and read with you. Focus on causes and effects, like what could happen if you have sex without protection. Most importantly, learn today's lingo to avoid conversations like this.
Kids coming in with STDs, I say, STDs, what is that? And she said, sexually transmitted diseases, Daddy.
Keeping the line of communication open is key.
Let them know that if you do hear something on the news or you hear something somewhere, start a conversation about it. You know, how do you feel about that?
Even if they don't even respond, just make them sit there, and if you gotta do all the talking, just keep talking.
Talk now. Would you rather explain the purpose of a condom or teach them how to put on a diaper?
Now, if you're thinking, I've got this sex talk thing down pat, no problem, well, lucky you. If your issue is simply getting through to your kids and overpowering their friends' influences, you're in luck. We will tackle the problem of peer pressure next.
All right, Lauren, thank you. And if it's almost time for you to have the talk with your kids and you want some more help on how to tackle that subject, you can simply contact the Parent Project Program.
And you can find their number on the For More Info page of our web channel, WTVY.com. Peer pressure is something nearly every child faces, and it can be one of the trickiest conversations for parents.
Do what you're told, or you simply go along with your friends. It's a decision kids face every day. And News 4's Lauren St. Germain is here to show us it's not as difficult as you may think. Lauren?
So you've mastered the sex talk or convinced your kids that drugs and alcohol can get you into trouble. But how do you convince them that their friends actually don't know everything?
What am I going to do with you? You won't listen to me. I can't get through to you.
Sound familiar?
I try to listen to my parents.
But who do you end up listening to?
My friends.
Sound more familiar? Friends say yes. Adults say no. It's a constant battle, and parents say they're losing the fight. So how do you win back that control and be the voice in the back of your kid's head?
When kids decide to go and have these peer pressures, it's because they don't feel the wholeness at home. So they're looking for that other family component.
As kids grow into hormonal teenagers, the pressure from their friends skyrockets. This is an important time to reestablish your family bond. And even though everyone wants to be the cool mom or the cool dad,
there are no rules in this house. I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
We have to remember that kids think for here and now. Our teens don't think for the future. They don't sit there and have planning. That's why we're parents.
Set boundaries, and most importantly, don't give in when you get the puppy dog eyes or the I hate yous.
Like if you're sitting there going shopping, for instance, and you're trying to pick out clothes for your child, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what you'll accept in your home, what you won't accept in your home.
Back up your decisions and clearly explain why things are allowed or unacceptable, and turn the tables on their friends' influence.
If you see friends doing the wrong thing, it's probably what the best choice to choose new friends.
If you're thinking, okay, sure, this all sounds great, but show me actual real-life parents who go through this with their kids, I've got you covered. Tomorrow I'll bring you a success story, parents who help turn their son's life completely around.
We'll look forward to that. Thank you, Lauren. And for more tips on how to talk to your kids about sex, drugs, or peer pressure, just contact the Parent Project Group.
All that information can be found on our web channel, WTVY.com. According to a 2012 drugfree.org survey, 24% of high school students have abused prescription drugs. What's worse, 20% say their first experience before the age of 14.
Pretty scary, and drug abuse is not an easy topic for parents, but it could save your child's life. And News 4's Lauren St. Germain found out they don't have to do it alone, right, Lauren?
Right. Yeah, talking to your kids about sex, drugs, peer pressure, it's all challenging. But sometimes it can really make all the difference. So parents, never be ashamed to get help. And here's a success story to prove it.
3 weeks ago, Stone Smith enjoyed his 14th birthday. But the past 2 years were nothing to celebrate.
I thought, I might get a probation officer and nothing big would happen, but it ended up not being a complete opposite.
2 years ago, we started noticing some behavior problems with Stone, and we kind of blew it off as just early adolescent years.
When Stone was just 12 years old, he started popping pills.
It kind of made me feel like I didn't care about anything, and I didn't have a care in the world. You think that, hey, if I don't do anything, they're not going to be friends with me anymore, kind of thing. It's kind of stupid when you lay it out, but when you really think about it, it's true.
After being arrested and kicked out of school,
We were devastated. It really, it was a blow to both of us as parents.
the Smiths knew they had to do something. They turned to the Parent Project, a program based out of the Alfred Saliba Family Service Center. The organization gives parents tools on how to take control of their family and better communicate with their kids. The lessons may sound simple.
Just being positive, pointing him in the right direction, making him understand that the behavior that he was exhibiting wasn't going to get him anywhere.
But Stone wasn't ready for those changes.
They tell you this during the parenting project. When you start implementing some of these new rules around the house, it actually gets worse, and it did get worse.
That's when his parents decided to send Stone to Pathways, a rehab center for troubled youth. It was the reality check Stone needed, and his parents followed through, setting rules and opening the line of communication.
And that's when he finally realized that there was two people in this world that were there for him, and that was Mom and Daddy.
Friends come and go, but family will always be there, just like the consequences of your decisions.
Stop doing all this stupid stuff. It's not really worth it. It's gonna really, really bite you in the end.
After successfully going through the 10-week Parent Project and the Pathways program, Stone is now back at home. He's being homeschooled for the rest of this year and then will hopefully return to school in the fall. Now, instead of thinking about pills, he's thinking about his future and a possible career in the automotive industry.
Glad to see he's doing much better. Thank you, Lauren.
Great story.
Yeah, absolutely. Very encouraging.
It is.
And for more tips on how to talk to your kids about sex, drugs, or peer pressure, really anything, you can contact the Parent Project Group.
And that contact information, we provided it for you on our web channel, WTVY.com.